Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of Write Your Way into Healing. So, today we are going to give you some gorgeous writing prompts. So, the first thing that we want to say here is that there's absolutely no pressure. We have talked about day 1 and day 2, different perspectives on healing and writing and all of that wonderful stuff, and giving you some many different outlooks on how to approach it and what it can do for you. But really today what we want you to do is just to be really, just take a deep breath with me right now. Hold for a second and release. We want you to ease into this process and make it yours. There is no wrong or right way to approach writing. This is not a place for you to deem perfection. Absolutely. First of all, it doesn't exist, so good luck. Second of all, this is a place for you to be imperfect, to try things on, to build your worlds and create them and pull them down if you're not happy with them and create a new one. This is just a place for you. The written word, writing, is a place for you to just expand and go absolutely wild. At the very least, get your imagination out there and get it going. So we don't want you to have any pressure whatsoever. And don't think about writing for an audience right now. We talked about this in the previous number 2. And we talked about, writing for other people, books that they wish they had. All of that's wonderful. But when you're in the writing process, you're writing for yourself. There can be an outlook of what you want to do, an energy of hoping that it will help others. Absolutely perfectly reasonable. But you're writing for yourself. So absolutely no pressure whatsoever. Want this to be enjoyable, have some fun, bring in your inner child. So one way that we can do this, and I love doing this, now this works for if you're thinking about nonfiction, you're actually thinking about writing your life and writing it out and making some sense of it, or attaching all the beautiful points of your life, or you're thinking about writing a fiction character, maybe based on yourself, who knows. So the hero's journey would be the first prompt here. And the first page of writing, how would you introduce the hero at the very beginning of your book? Are you the hero? Even if you're not, if you are, it's still the energy of them. It doesn't, you don't have to purposely say that you are. This can be ambiguous at the beginning. Try and use vivid language. Lots of, really get in touch with all the vividness, the language, the articulation, the beautiful. Even if your sentences are run on at the beginning or whatever, just let it go wild. Just puke out the words, right? But in a beautiful way, because as they puke out, they're beautiful and they're full of glitter and unicorns come out. Just let yourself go for it. Don't overthink or over focus on the traits. Just let the traits come to you and write them down. Watch your mind's eye as you start building this world too. So, maybe we'll concentrate on the character here at the hero's journey. So what they look like, what are they doing? What time frame are they in? What's the energy in and around them? Now, we don't want to overload too much at this point, but we just want you to get you focused in this new world, using this imagination, using this language. Are they short or tall? Are they hefty or, slimmer? Are they eating? What are they doing? Just enjoy this. The most interesting part of this is to really get an essence of the energy of the book. Are they in medieval times? What are the Knights of the Round Table? Are they a frog on a leaf? All sorts of different things here. But again, just focus on the language, focus on the vividness. Really, some people are very visual. So their writing can be very cinematic. If you're not visual, that's fine. Just use what prompts you have, but allow the expansion to just take you down a journey, and try your very best not to overthink in every way. As we start writing, just let it pour out. Again, this is just a description. If you want to do a couple of paragraphs, that's fine, but an initial paragraph would be enough just to get you going for this. So this is called the hero's journey. Now, The second prompt is use this prompt, bring this out, smash the glass if you need to put out the fire. So use this prompt if you feel lost or stuck or nothing is coming to mind. I know some people say, when I've taught writing before, oh, I'm not visual, so I'll never be able to write. There are many different ways that you can do this. I'm visual, so my stuff tends to be cinematic, but it doesn't have to work that way. There's tactile ways that you can bring this to. So a lot of people, if they don't feel as though they have that kind of level of imagination, they tend to shut down a little bit. I promise you, everybody has an incredible imagination once they tap into it. So if you're not visual, this is for you. Or if you're just feeling stuck or you're feeling overloaded by everything, then let's just do this, right? So write a paragraph from the viewpoint of a tree. Now, I know you're not 2 years old, so bear with me. Right? So it can be any tree, alone or in a forest. Now, again, focus on the character of the tree. Now, we want you to get out of your head as you're writing because you're writing from a different viewpoint. So it's less pressure. So just imagine yourself again. You just really take yourself down this imagination, trial and error, being in a tree. Are you a little tree, a big tree? Maybe you just want to be a flower. Maybe you've been a branch cut from a tree. Is it a storm? Is it sunshine outside? Is somebody, peeing on your, on your trunk? There can be a million different things that are happening right now. The point is to open up your mind and just take off the pressure by imagining yourself as an inanimate object, because it's easier to do that, even though it's not really inanimate, because obviously trees are living, but you know what I mean. They for the most part, they stay in one place unless unfortunately we cut them. So just stay where you are, rooted to the ground in this energy, but just let this expansion go in. And again, really go for it with this imagination. Just push it out there. And there's no pressure because, it's just a tree. It's a tree. It can be anything, but you can bring in the world just a little bit to help you focus on a smaller version of the world. It's just a tree. How do they feel? They have a trunk. They've got branches, and you can get a little bit freaky with this. You can, maybe there's a tree house built into it. You can go in any direction, but if you want to start really small, just allow your imagination to imagine that you are something. Like the tree or inanimate object. You could do an apple if you wanted to, but I always think tree is great because it gives you many different avenues to go in one direction. But the main thing is to shed the human experience and to see yourself in another way without any pressure. So now we have writing prompt number 3. I love this one. I have done this before and it absolutely works. Again, you can use this just as a beautiful sort of, if you a start to your day when you start writing, just to get your imagination juices flowing. Or you can use this again if you're feeling a little bit stuck, but rewrite the ending to a famous narrative. You can use any narrative whatsoever. When I taught this before, I taught writing, but I also taught film theory because that was what I was trained in initially. I had never actually taken a writing class, so I felt weird teaching writing, so I went back to film. But I had a student who took the ending of a film that he absolutely hated. He hated the ending, and he rewrote it, and it was absolutely crazy. It didn't make any sense to me. But he loved it. And for some reason, he decided at the end, because he had changed the ending, that he now liked the film that he previously hated because he had to change the ending. So take this any way that you want to, any kind of famous narrative that you want. And again, if you want to choose a screenplay or you want to choose the end of a film, fairy tales are good ones because most people know that. Any kind of allegory tale. And, you choose Cinderella and get as crazy as you like with the ending. The more crazy, the better. Just shift your imagination and go out there, do not make the process just one-dimensional. Do your best to really push it, even if it doesn't make sense. Even if it's Cinderella and she ends up living on Mars with the 7 dwarfs. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you do, take that ending and make it yours. Shift it in any way. This is a way to get your creative juices working. And it's a way for you to correct any of those fairy tales that you really didn't like either. You know, there's been a feminist element to Cinderella, the Tale of Cinderella. I've seen and read many endings that I've preferred, that I thought were brilliant. You know, bring in your element, bring in your whimsy, make it humorous, anything that you want to do. I've had people, you know, in classes before bring it and everybody gets shot by the mafia at the end, and that's what they wanted. That's fine. Anything goes. So that is one that you can do. Again, this is just something that you can use, not necessarily even as a prompt to start you off to get the imagination flowing, but it can be used if you're feeling a little bit stuck, or if you're writing and you're feeling to the point where you're starting to close off a little bit and your imagination is shutting down just a little bit. Take a little breath, take a little breather, go out for a walk, do this as an imagination, get expansive again, and then go back into your writing. So those are a couple different prompts to get you going. And this is all to get the energy up there and the imagination flowing. And of course, once you get into your own personal foothold with this, you will take this and create your own reality. The other thing that I wanted to say as part of this support that I thought would be really fun, in the podcast, it's a couple back, check out the Moon Magic podcast. So we have a rundown in that with how to use the moon phases productively if you want to. Now, this is a whole nother level, and I don't want to go into it too much and take up too much of your time. But if you wanted to go back to that podcast with the new idea of writing with you, the idea of creating worlds, working with the phases of the moon, there are different, you know, phases of the moon that you could work with to create and develop your imagination, and then maybe not to write in that time. And to come up with more information and more ways to work with your imagination, and then to really get it down on paper. There's so many different ways that you can incorporate the moon, different influences, different energy, influence with your magic and your beauty to go ahead and just give that extra vavum to your writing. So when you're in the flow of writing and you feel as though you want a little extra support, check out the Moon Magic podcast. Even if you've listened to it before, listen to it again with the intention of going in with a writing schedule and check it out and see if that works with you. Different phases of the moon for this, and how you can be productive working with that beautiful moon. So thank you for joining us for this day of prompts, and thank you for joining us for all of the days here with this beautiful writing essence, getting back to your badass self and being you, and of course working with, you know, writing your way back to healing. So we sincerely hope that you got some support, some beauty, some ideas, you know, hopefully inspired, some energy moving, and get you out there and in any way, shape or form, go claim your space on that page and make that page yours, make words yours, create those realities any way that you want to. Again, whether they're out in the world or just for you, however you want to do it, whether you're speaking into a microphone using your words, or, you know, writing with a quill pen. I had a writer friend who only wanted to work with a quill pen. Needless to say that it took a while for him to finish anything because they're a little bit of a bugger to work with. But however you want to do this, it's all up to you. But this is a beautiful way for you to reclaim your life, claim your life, do whatever you want to do on your own terms, you know, connect into your absolute magic and see yourself on the page. And don't think that confidence on the page is not going to, it's absolutely going to integrate into every cell in your body. It will change everything that you do. This is scripting in a more direct, informative, inclusive form to change your entire life in every day. We're not suggesting that you stop everything and just become a writer. There's ways to integrate this. And if you're already a writer, or you don't consider yourself a writer, but you think you are a writer if you are writing. And if you're just starting, these are all for different levels, however you want to do it, however you want to create words and worlds in this world is completely up to you. But we hope in the last, hour or so that we've given you the support and at least some inspiration for you to at least try. So thank you again for being here. Thank you again for being you. Until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye.